Yes, I'm a Super Bowl bachelor. Go hard in the gym, no cameras. I think I see blood, no Dracula. I'm an animal, eating up amateurs. Too active, y'all can't handle it. No taxing, we'll dismantle it. Shake up. Set up the critics and analysts. Come through dripping, I'ma set it off. Game after game, you can bet it off. Quarterback got range if you block them off. Quarterback did an option and set it off. Duck, goose, linebacker coming through. Yeah, hit him with the spin of the Jew. Yeah, we gon' blow your block like a new. Yeah, and I spend a dime every two. We gon' lock down on the offense. Bust down the skeleton fossil. I'm not addressing the problem. Julio on the post, you can't stop him. Pick it up, running back, it's no problem. I'm running behind the block, they gon' block him. Quavo Yoda, I'm offset Chewbacca. Watch the blitz on the left, we gon' block him. We some animal, yeah, we some gobbler. Man to man, we gon' cover you properly. Man to man, you can't beat me impossibly. Red zone, this my house like my property. Them over, he under me. Back ends, wipe my sins. They can't win. No new friends. Football fans, they sleep again. We wake them up. Wake up, the champs is in. Champion. We want back ends. Wipe my sins. Wipe it. They can't win. No new friends. Football fans.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden Night.
We're about 40 miles south of Candlestick Point as we welcome you inside Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Today, it's an NFC West battle between the Arizona Cardinals and the San Francisco 49ers. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. They'll carry C.J. Anderson. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
On second down, Anderson. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. On fourth down, here's Andy Leon to kick it away. Back deep is Carlos Henderson. This is taken at the 18. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards. And the Niners will go on offense. First and 10. Good starting field position for the 49ers as they have it first and 10. A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. Well, he's going to take a shot right away. And pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
Part of the reason they're here, no doubt, was his big performance in the NFC title game, and that's his first catch of the Super Bowl. The numbers for him from a week ago: 7 catches, 97 yards.
And I get the feeling that he loves this matchup. I mean, the unit he's going against is in the bottom half of the league against the pass. He had to have circled this one on the schedule and said to himself, this should be a big game.
Throwing on first is Garoppolo. Over the middle, and he's got Goodwin complete. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Garoppolo to throw on second down. incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tougher role that they can fall back on anymore.
Buying time to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And he slides to avoid the hit. Taking matters into his own hands, and he picks up 4 yards and a first down.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid.
And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Luke Wilson with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Niners have taken the early lead. Well, these guys have won 3 straight ball games and another good start to this one out to the 6-0 lead.
And I've talked with so many different coaches, as have you, along the way, and they always talk about winning streaks and the mood of a team and how much easier it is to actually prepare during that time. Guys are sharp, guys are focused, everyone's feeling good, and we're seeing it early in this one.
And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Cardinal offense coming back out. Let's give you a look at the playoff race. Now, this is into the weekend in the NFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Oh, you're impressed, aren't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games. Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadrupled. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he's able to hold on to the football.
Gets it to Bryce Butler, complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. It's a gain of 17, and it'll give him a first down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either. I
think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
On 2nd down, Ryan. On the right side, it's Hilton with a catch. So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10, down at the 33. They run the counter now. It's Anderson. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. They give it to Anderson. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. That'll get them some of what they needed, but they're still left here with a 3rd and 9 forthcoming.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits, and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Ryan. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. And now out is the Cardinal field goal team here. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. And his kick is good. Not by much. It was leaking oil in the end, but he tucks it in the bottom right corner. And they are on the board, trailing now 6-3. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
Garoppolo looks to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Goodwin. He'll be tackled shy of the 35. Shifty footwork gets him a little extra on the play. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you break a tackle and turn it into a bigger game. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
3 catches now this afternoon, the same number he had all of last week. Also, it's a first down. Over the middle, complete. That's Goodwin. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. A gain of 6 there on first.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Got his man complete over the middle. It's Goodwin. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. Garoppolo to Goodwin there for a 49er first.
Always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Part of the reason they're here, no doubt, was his big performance in the NFC title game. And that's his first catch of the Super Bowl. Complete to the right. This is Garcon. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
He'll find Goodwin here on the right side. And he's going to go out of bounds. He takes this one down shy of the 20. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with him for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Garoppolo looks to throw once more. Throw right side, going to be taken in by Henderson. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. His first catch, good for 9 in the first down. Again, they'll throw with Garoppolo. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion. Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play. Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. You got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him. I think you're right about that because when the game's... And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Pierre Garcon with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the 49ers add on to their lead. That's an old-fashioned death march there, partner. Took them a lot of plays, but hey, they did the job. And the defense always preaches getting off the field, making a play, and turning it back over to their own offense. Unable to do so. A long, sustained drive by the offense. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill? Well, I think that they will. And the Niners get there and bring him down. Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon. Handoff comes to Anderson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
3rd and long. It's Ryan. Caught left side by Hilton. And he is out of bounds, getting it across the 30-yard line. They'll wind up with 17 on that one, but they're still a bit short here for 4th. Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Cardinals in possession of the football. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. Taken in at the 11. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. And San Francisco gets set to go here. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. Garoppolo now. Over the middle, complete. That's Goodwin. A gain of 6 there on 1st. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. Complete to the tight end, Kittle, over the middle of the field. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch.
13.
And yet again, it's Garoppolo. Over the middle to Garcon. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. That's good for a Niner 1st down. Garoppolo to Garcon.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. Throwing now is Garoppolo. It's caught by Garcon. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
Umpire through the flag usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpire's got different responsibilities, but always making sure no one's holding.
He gets this one to Garcon. Call it a pickup of 7, and that'll make this a 2nd and 13. Garoppolo again. And that one finds the ground, breaking a string of 5 straight completions. And it brings up 2nd down. No, third down. The veteran safety Antoine Bethea there on the defensive coverage. On 3rd and long, it's Garoppolo. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And now a fumble. The ball's out, and the Cardinals have got it, going the other way. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Here's Anderson as they begin this series on the ground. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. Tenth carry now for Anderson. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism, Hands, a little bit questionable.
12 yards on the return that time. And the Niners set up well. They take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Garoppolo now, 1st down throw. Over the middle to Kittle, complete. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. Inside the red zone, it's Garoppolo. And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. 3 touchdown passes now for Jimmy Garoppolo. And the 49ers add 6 to their lead. 3rd time's the charm on the extra point as he gets this one to go. And that could be important as that makes this a 16-point lead. The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Time for us to spotlight C.J. Anderson. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense has done a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. Now Ryan on 2nd down. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Butler. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Here's Ryan. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Here's Andy Lee now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And this will be taken at the 13. Oh, he shifts past him. It takes a touchdown-saving tackle to bring him down as he goes 32 yards on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Vontaze Burfict. And the return across midfield into the 46-yard line.
Yeah, he's just trying to throw this ball into the hole in the zone, but those windows can open and close quickly, especially in the middle of the field. So if the timing's not right, we'll see interceptions like that one right there.
1st down. Here's the run with Anderson. He'll get only a couple down to the 44.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Oh, boy, partner, did that just happen? I've got my hand over my eyes right now because, like him, it's going to haunt my dreams, too. He was wide open. How did he overthrow him there?
Defensively, just very lucky. You know that they got away with one there. Officially, just 27 yards there on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here comes Jimmy Garoppolo now to lead his offense back out there. He does have the 1 interception, Charles, but I think that's been more than offset by the 3 first-half touchdown passes.
I would agree with you. There is a blemish, but when you've thrown 3 touchdown passes to try and erase it, that's a little bit better than the ratio that all NFL coaches are seeking from their quarterbacks, and he's giving it to them.
They'll take the 3-1?
Every single time.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion. Have a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
And incomplete here on third down. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. And the Cardinals getting set to trot out there now. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
False start, offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
On first down, Garoppolo firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. Garoppolo on first down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Vontaze Burfict. And he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
And he's brought down. So a minute 56 to play in this first half. All right, coming up at intermission. Charles, you want to wait in enhance your Saturday?
I certainly do.
I've got just a thing for you. It's the coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by Orlando. He'll be alongside at half to take us through the weekend in the NFL.
False start, offense.
Yeah, maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
Now they'll throw here. Out of the gun. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Jeremiah Tauchu in there yet again. What else is new as he continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's third.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And he'll be well short of a first down as he stopped again right at the line of scrimmage. And now the 49ers signal for a timeout defensively as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The 49ers offense now, they work their way back onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. The reception good for 7. It's third down. Garoppolo going to try and throw on third. Open man is Taylor. He's got it. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. A very solid gain of 27. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician, Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up.
And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a third down. Now Garoppolo. And it's a fumble. And the Cardinals have got it. Going the other way. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call.
Holding offense.
They were looking to throw, holding on a big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
Following the penalty, Anderson. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. And now due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. So we've hit halftime here in Santa Clara with the 49ers out in front. Returning it, Carlos Henderson. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. 5 yards on the catch there brings up second down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Now Garoppolo throwing on second. Pressure comes and the Cardinals bring him down. Chandler Jones in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
12. 1, Omaha.
From the gun on third, Garoppolo. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. It's a pickup of 13, but they're still a bit short, and it'll be 4th down. There's Garoppolo to throw. And able to find Garcon. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th.
I remember in pregame when we were talking to him on the field, and he took his gloves off and showed us his fingers. A few misshaped
pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Chandler Jones in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
On second down, here's Garoppolo. To the right side, complete to Taylor. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. From midfield, here's Garoppolo. Able to haul it in is Kittle. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. They convert on third with a gain of 22. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Chandler Jones in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon. Now whistles here, and I think one of the big boys for the 49ers might have jumped.
False start, offense.
Well, this O-line's been great. They've got the big lead, so give them a pass there, I guess.
Yeah, I would think so, because we were grading them on their performance in this game. A lot of pluses in their boxes so far.
Garoppolo to throw on second down. It's caught by Garcon. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and they're going to face an uphill battle here on third and long. To throw, it's Garoppolo. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Here's Bradley Pinion now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. The Cardinals offense now ready to get their first opportunity here in the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
They run it again with Anderson. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Solomon Thomas there on the tackle.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Back to throw. Completes it to Norwood. And they'll get him down here at the 23. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. That one in the books as a 64-yard punt. And the 49ers will take over deep in their own territory. Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Throwing now is Garoppolo. Complete to the right. This is Garcon. And he is out of bounds, getting it across the 30-yard line. 18 yards there and a 1st down.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, not that. It came off of that guy.
And the pressure will bring him down here. The Cardinals get home for the sack. Chandler Jones in there for sack number 85 of his great career, moving him past Hall of Famer Howie Long on the all-time list. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. 3rd catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a 1st down. And on that last play there, he's over 400 yards passing now.
And you know what that generally means?
Success.
That, and it means you really didn't miss opportunities. Usually very accurate. The ball's getting to the right place. Guys are making yardage after the catch to help you out that way. I mean, the whole team has picked it up. And don't forget, that means the offensive line has had to pass protect pretty well, too.
Yeah, everyone dialed in. Back to the air on second. It's Garoppolo. It's caught on the right side. Williams. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. Throwing is Garoppolo on third down. Throw right side, complete to Williams. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up fourth. Garoppolo going to go on fourth down. He's got his man. It's Williams. Williams loses the football. And the Cardinals have got it. Going the other way. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them, big tackle, knock the ball free. Anything you can do to slow them down.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. They tried to run it to the short side of the field. There just wasn't a whole lot of room to work with.
Yeah, it seems like things just kept getting strung out towards the sideline, and he kept looking for a spot to dive up into the gap. There just wasn't one, so that turned into nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
And no gain.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Jeremiah Tauchu in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to be okay, though.
He looked like he was favoring something in the left leg. Appears to be fine now, but you're right. That O-line, they got to protect it. Very good return that time. 18 yards. Yet again, Pierre Garçon and company gearing up to take the field. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well. The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. That throw good for 4. It's second down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. To throw is Garoppolo. He gets this with a Garçon. 15 yards there for number 15. And now he's closing in on 450 yards passing.
That's an incredible number. I mean, you're talking about the best defenders in the world that you're trying to throw the ball against, and you're creating that type of a number. Fantastic job, fantastic performance. And he's going to have to ice up his arm afterwards, too.
A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Garoppolo looks to throw once more. He'll find Henderson there. It's complete. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl.
Back now here in Santa Clara. It's 49er football here. They've got the lead as well as we get set to start the 4th and final quarter. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. That good for 6 as they keep this drive right on rolling. Garoppolo in the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's hit on his last 7 straight passes. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Throw right side, going to be taken in by Henderson. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Garoppolo again. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And Wilson has it. Some collective exhales over there on the sideline. A big pickup through the air on 4th down to bring up 1st and goal. Again, they'll throw with Garoppolo. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle 3rd of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
Garoppolo looks to throw. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. The tight end, Luke Wilson, was the target. 3rd down here.
All right, Captain. It's batten down the hatches time defensively. Dodged 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on 3rd and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we just seen, I think they're throwing it again, don't you?
I think you have to. I think in this situation...
And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Touchdown pass number 4 of the afternoon for Jimmy Garoppolo. And the 49ers add on to their lead. Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through. They have the lead in the 4th, but still passing. Finding the big target for the touchdown. Now that lead grows even more.
Everybody gets to join in the fun. You know, it doesn't have to just be the wide receivers catching touchdown passes. The tight end doesn't just have to do just the dirty work inside. He gets a chance to get into the end zone as well.
Cardinal offense coming back out. Let's give you a look at the playoff race. Now, this is into the weekend in the NFC. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Let's go! Green 39!
They'll set up a throw. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry? Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
He'll drop to throw. And he's got his man Hilton. And the athleticism on the spin move allows him to pick up the first before he's brought down. The quick slant, good for 8 and a first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
They'll look to throw here. And the Niners get there and bring him down. Jeremiah Tauju able to disrupt yet another pass play. His 3rd sack of the afternoon. Coming off the line, he's been wreaking havoc all year. And look, that's why, as a result, he's getting some looks for Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL.
And I know that many people don't have him first on their list right now, but he deserves that type of consideration. You mentioned it. All year long, he's made big plays and continues to do so. Imagine if he has a big game here. If so, he can vault himself right into the
The pressure gets to him again. Jeremiah Tauju. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
Well, they were looking for a clutch play there on 4th, unable to come up with it.
How about that defense, though, huh? How about that D?
Yeah, momentum swing.
And, you know, I remember playing how much 4th downs were emphasized. You know, because, as you said, it's a momentum play. It's also a big test for you. You know, if people are going to go for it on 4th down, they believe you're not up to the challenge. You want to show them differently.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Now Garoppolo, and they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete.
They certainly thought they had him surrounded and probably thought they were going to get him on the ground and get the sack, but he was able to elude that. And even though it threw it incomplete downfield, if you're a defensive back, you're loving the pressure that you're seeing from your front.
Garoppolo now, able to haul it in is Kittle. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. George Kittle with his 13th touchdown of the year and 2nd of the game. And the 49ers, they're just pouring it on. The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right?
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Solomon Thomas able to get in and run him down for a loss of 14.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Here we go now. 3-19.
Back to throw. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. On 1st down, Garoppolo over the middle to Garcon. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. A gain of 6 there on 1st. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. It's caught by Garcon. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback. The Cards get to him here. He's brought down for a sack. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. And a little floater there, but it'll wind up incomplete, falling to the ground.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. It's caught on the right side. Williams. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But an alert 49er able to gain possession, so they will indeed hold on to the pigskin. The Niners go for it, but it doesn't work out. And it'll be a turnover on downs. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. That throw good for 4. It's second down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Jeremiah Tauchu in there yet again. My goodness, make it 5 sacks for him now in this one game alone.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
Sometimes it's just not your day. Here's another failure right there on 3rd down.
Here's the veteran punter Lee as he sends this one away. This is fielded at the 7. An 8-yard return there after a punt of 47. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. The 49er offense now making their way out onto the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. Garoppolo looking to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. And yet again, it's Garoppolo. Quick hitter here, it's complete. To the 40 and no further. The razzle-dazzle, though, got him a couple extra on the play. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Garoppolo to throw on 3rd and 1. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Cardinals have got it. Going the other way. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Holding on to the football becoming a little bit of an issue. He had 2 fumbles last week, remember.
I played for a guy that used to talk all the time about creating turbulence in the pocket, making the quarterback jumpy, make him antsy, keep getting after him a little bit, and make sure he thinks about holding on to the ball because you're going after him.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Jeremiah Tauchu in there to get him again, and that's his 6th sack of the ball game, one off the NFL record of 7. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the 49ers are going to get the football back. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Now the Georgia Southern man. This is Jerick McKinnon. And his first carry, he loses the football. And the Cardinals have got it, going the other way. Not the trend he wanted to start the season with a fumble lost in both weeks 1 and 2. Now, it's not a disaster, but certainly not what he was looking for.
Got to get that fixed because otherwise he shows up on every scouting report. I remember sitting in defensive rooms and hearing the scout.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Richard Sherman. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for San Francisco,